Imagine standing on solid ground. The earth beneath your feet feels permanent, unmoving, eternal. For thousands of years, humanity believed exactly that. The continents were fixed, immovable features of our planet. But in 1912, a German scientist named Alfred Wegener proposed something revolutionary. The continents are moving. They laughed at him. They called him a dreamer. Yet today, we know he was right. But here's what will truly astonish you. 1,400 years ago, long before Wegener, before modern geology, before satellites and seismographs, the Quran spoke about the earth in ways that align remarkably with this discovery. Today, we're going to explore how the Quran describes the movement and nature of mountains and the earth itself. Descriptions that modern science is only now beginning to fully appreciate. The moving mountains. Let's begin with a verse that stops many scientists in their tracks. In Surah An-Naml, verse 88, Allah says, "And you see the mountains, thinking them rigid, while they will pass as the passing of clouds. It is the work of Allah, who perfected all things. Indeed, He is acquainted with that which you do." Quran 27:88. Now pause and think about this for a moment. The verse says, "You see the mountains, you think they are still, but they are actually moving like clouds." This is not talking about the day of judgment, as some might assume, because the verse says "you see," present tense, and it says "you think they are rigid," meaning in your perception right now they appear still. The comparison to clouds is profound. Clouds drift slowly, almost imperceptibly, across the sky. You don't notice their movement unless you focus. The mountains, the Quran tells us, are doing exactly the same thing. Today, we know this is scientifically accurate. The continents move at roughly the same speed as your fingernails grow, about 2 to 5 centimeters per year. The Arabian Peninsula is moving northeast toward Iran at about 3 centimeters annually. The Indian subcontinent is pushing into Asia, creating the Himalayas, which grow taller every year. Africa is splitting apart along the East African Rift. But in the 7th century, who could have known this? People believed the earth was completely stationary, that mountains were eternal fixtures. Yet here, the Quran invites us to look deeper than our perception. 2. Mountains as pegs. Now let's explore another remarkable description. The Quran mentions mountains multiple times, and in several verses, it uses a very specific word to describe their function. In Surah An-Naba, verses 6 to 7, "Have we not made the earth a resting place, and the mountains as stakes?" Quran 78, 6 to 7. The Arabic word used here is autad, which means pegs or stakes. Think about what a peg does. When you pitch a tent, you drive stakes deep into the ground. Most of the stake is invisible, hidden beneath the surface, anchoring the tent above. This is exactly how mountains work. Modern geology has discovered that mountains have deep roots extending into the Earth's mantle. Mount Everest, standing at 8,849 meters above sea level, has roots going down approximately 125 kilometers into the Earth. The mountain you see is just a fraction of its total mass. This was discovered through seismic studies in the 20th century. Yet the Quran, 1,400 years ago, described mountains as pegs, objects that go deep beneath the surface to provide stability. In Surah An-Naml, verse 15, Allah says, "And He has cast into the earth firmly set mountains, lest it shift with you." Quran 16:15. The word tamida means to shake, to sway, or to be disturbed. The mountains prevent this shaking. Today, geologists understand that mountains play a crucial role in isostatic balance. They stabilize the Earth's crust and reduce seismic activity in certain regions. The massive roots of mountains help anchor the tectonic plates and distribute stress. 3. The Earth is spread out. Now, here's where it gets even more fascinating. The Quran uses specific language when describing how the earth was formed. In Surah Adh-Dhariyat, verse 48, "And the earth we have spread out, and excellent is the preparer." Quran 51:48. The word farasha means to spread out, to expand. Some scholars have noted that this could be referring to the way the Earth's crust spread and formed over geological time. In Surah An-Nazi'at, verse 30, "And after that, he spread the earth." Quran 79:30. The word daha here means to spread out or to expand. Interestingly, the same root word is used for an ostrich egg, which has an oval shape. What's remarkable is that the Quran doesn't describe the earth as being created in one instant, fixed form. It describes a process, spreading, expanding, being shaped over time. This aligns with our modern understanding of how the Earth's crust formed through volcanic activity, tectonic movement, and continental drift over billions of years. 4. The perfect design. Let's return to that verse in Surah An-Naml. After describing the mountains moving like clouds, Allah says, "It is the work of Allah, who perfected all things." Quran 27:88. This is the key. The movement of continents isn't chaos. It's a perfectly designed system. Plate tectonics recycle nutrients, regulate the planet's temperature, create diverse ecosystems, and maintain the delicate balance necessary for life. Without continental drift, we wouldn't have the diverse mountain ranges that affect weather patterns. We wouldn't have the oceanic ridges that circulate minerals. We wouldn't have the volcanic activity that releases gases necessary for our atmosphere. The very movement that seems imperceptible is actually the engine of life on earth. In Surah Al-Mulk, verse 3, Allah says, "And who created 7 heavens in layers. You do not see in the creation of the Most Merciful any inconsistency. So return your vision to the sky. Do you see any breaks?" Quran 67:3. The challenge is clear. Look at creation, study it, examine it. You will find no flaws, no inconsistency. The more we study plate tectonics, the more we discover an elegant system of balance and precision. 5. The deeper message. But here's what truly matters. These verses aren't just about geology. They're about recognizing the signs of the Creator. In Surah Al-Imran, verse 190, "Indeed, in the creation of the heavens and the earth, and the alternation of the night and the day are signs for those of understanding." Quran 3:190. The word ayat means signs, but it's the same word used for the verses of the Quran. The earth itself is a book to be read, studied, and understood. When we learn that mountains move, that continents drift, that the earth beneath us is constantly changing, yet we remain safe, balanced, sustained, we're witnessing a miracle, not a violation of natural law, but the perfect execution of it. So here we stand, on ground that seems solid but is actually moving, beneath mountains that appear fixed but are actually drifting, on a planet that looks chaotic but is actually perfectly balanced. The Quran invited us to look beyond our perceptions 1400 years ago. It told us that mountains move like clouds when everyone believed they were eternal and fixed. It described them as pegs when no one knew they had deep roots. It spoke of the earth being spread out when people thought it was created in one instant. Today, with all our technology, satellites, and scientific instruments, we're confirming what was revealed centuries ago. Not because the Quran is a science textbook. It's not. But because the one who revealed the Quran is the same one who created the heavens and the earth. And perhaps that's the real miracle. That in a single verse, in a few carefully chosen words, the Quran can point us toward truths that took humanity thousands of years to discover. As you stand on the earth today, remember, you're on a journey. The ground beneath you is moving, the mountains are drifting, and the continents are dancing to a rhythm set by the Creator. And all of it, every single movement, every shift, every change, is part of the perfect work of Allah. May we continue to study His signs, both in His book and in His creation, and may our knowledge always increase our faith.